Nice. Is it? Oh, I'll read the question. Aha, here you go. Oh, we're live. Hey, guys. Welcome to another one of our live session. In fact, it's live session number 85. So we spent 85 hours with you just sitting right here and talking to you about traveling in New Zealand, which is really awesome. It makes us feel really lucky to be with you guys. Today is a pretty special day. There's a lot of celebration to be happening. It's a Thread the Needle Day. I've read that. It's International Thread the Needle Day.
Yeah?
Which is, it's
what
not
will
a
you
thread.
be sewing today?
I have no idea. It's International Carousel Day. So if you feel like going to the fair, you can go on the carousel. And most importantly, it is Wine and Cheese Day. It's International Wine and Cheese Day.
Nice.
So New Zealand have some amazing cheese, some fantastic wine. And yeah, we may be talking about that today. So that's quite cool. But going back to what we are here for, we are here to help you plan your trip to New Zealand, to help you dream about traveling in New Zealand, and to answer all your questions about traveling in New Zealand, because we kind of are the experts of traveling in New Zealand. But why are we the experts, Laura?
Well, this is Robin and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide because it literally has thousands and thousands of articles to help you plan your trip to New Zealand. Whether you're just doing a 2-week campervan road trip around the country or you're staying here for a full year doing a working holiday, we cover all that information on NZPocketGuide.com. So make sure to check out the website if you are planning a trip to New Zealand. But if you're not really into reading, because that is a lot of articles to get through, we also do this live Q&A session every single Sunday. So you guys can come along and ask your questions directly to us about traveling in New Zealand right here on the live chat. But just so you know the times around the world, like I say, it's 8 a.m. New Zealand time on a Sunday morning. But around the world, that is on a Saturday evening in the UK and France around 8 or 9 p.m. Or is it 9 and 10 p.m.? 9 and 10 p.m. Clocks do change. And in the US, that is on a Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. EST and 1 p.m. PST. In India, that's bright and early on a Sunday morning at 1:30 a.m. And in Australia, that's also pretty early on a Sunday morning at 6 a.m. But if you want to have a look in the description below, we do have a time conversion if you want to check that out for your own country.
All right. So as per usual, we're going to read every comment in the live chat, and we'll just be talking to you guys and answering all the questions. And it starts with Arjot Walia this morning that says, what about international borders? There have been no announcements on the international borders this week. So literally it was complete dead news about any of that at the moment. So I don't think there is any hope borders opening any sooner than what we predicted in our last video when we gave our prediction for the border opening. So sadly, no news on that front just yet. Harjot Walia also asked us to tell him about the election. When are the election in New Zealand? Is it the 12th of September? Is it?
Yeah,
I think it is.
One of the. It's
a Saturday.
It's mid-September.
Yeah.
So it is coming up really soon. Yeah.
Just give me a second. And we are having. I'm going to give you the exact date if you want to know. So New Zealand time. Yes, it will be Saturday, the 12th of September, where New Zealand is going to be voting on 3 different things. First, we're going to vote for a new prime minister or keeping the existing prime minister. Secondly, we're going to be voting on the legalization of cannabis, the use of recreational cannabis. So, yeah, that's another thing we're going to be voting on. And the third thing we're going to be voting on is the legalization of the end of life bill. So basically euthanasia. So if you're really sick and you want to kind of have a peaceful end rather than kind of have to fight through it. So that's usually what happened in New Zealand when you have an election. They usually put a few extra kind of how do you call that, poll? No, it's not poll. Referendum. Here you go.
Yeah.
A few extra referendum in there in order to kind of save on cost and doing like elections all the time.
Yeah,
so
get everyone to vote on one day.
Yeah. And Harjad also saying, what about the results when that will be declared? So usually it's declared on the day. New Zealand's a pretty small country. You know, we have about 5 million people here only. So the polls usually close around, depending on where you are, you know, but by usually 7 p.m., everything is closed. And usually there's something like election night, you know, on TV, everybody can watch. And, you know, you have every channel that they call the race at some point. But usually it's declared on the day. It doesn't really take that long. There's not too much contention. I mean, maybe it's going to be a super close race and there's going to be some contention that take a little bit longer, but usually it's declared on the day. And I think the official results, like, you know, the TV news station, everything, they say, okay, the new prime minister is going to be that person. literally on the night, and usually the official result take about a week to come to have like the actual paper.
Yeah.
But at that point, that doesn't really matter. And like usually they're right when they're calling the race. So everything will happen on the 12th of September. Again, it's the 12th of September New Zealand time. So the 12th of September, Saturday the 12th of September New Zealand time is going to be on Friday for you guys. So that's going to be probably Friday on the Friday the 11th for anyone else around the world. Anthony Comstock saying Morena from California, USA. So if you guys don't know, Morena means good morning in Maori, which is the native language here. And Extreme Talota says, Morena, guys. How are you doing, guys? How is it going in Tokora? It's very, very cold here where we are.
Yeah, super frosty today.
Yeah, it is extremely cold. So everything is covered of frost. And I think all the mountains have some nice snow around, which is quite cool. And Harjot said, thank you for your information, both. You're very welcome. So if you guys have any questions about traveling in New Zealand, just put them in the comments. We also know a fair bit about the life in New Zealand, but obviously we try to stick to traveling in New Zealand. We're not really political-minded people. It's not really the thing that we talk about. Very happy to answer any questions. In the meantime, if you guys can't come live and ask us questions, you can always put your question in the comments of any of our videos. And we got 2 questions that popped up this week. So we're going to go with the first one. So we have Cloudy7 that says, hi, Robin and Laura. What are the farm tours that are available? We are thinking of doing the SS Unslow cruise plus the Walter Peak farm tour, but the timing didn't seem to fit the itinerary. We need your advice on this. Thanks. So we're going to be covering a little bit of the best farm tours available in New Zealand. And there's actually quite a lot of them. So we decided to kind of condense everything and give you about 5 different ones. They're spread over all of the country. So you will have the opportunity to place it wherever you want in your itinerary. Because we weren't sure if it's, your issue was that you had not enough time in Queenstown to fit this tour. The Walter Peaks farm is in Queenstown. So to fit that within your time in Queenstown, you wanted to place it somewhere else in your itinerary, or if you wanted a different tour in Queenstown. So since we didn't have that much information on this one, we decided to give you some of our favorite farm tours all over the country, different type of farms as well, not just the typical kind of sheep farm, a little bit of different stuff, and all over the country. So we're going to give you basically the 5 that we like the most, and we're going to be starting with Walter Peak Farm, which is accessible from Queenstown, which is actually really cool.
Yeah, so Walter Peak Farm, the sort of awesome part of this experience is actually getting to the farm. It's a high country station, and it's also sort of like nestled between 2 mountains on the opposite side of the lake to where Queenstown is. So in order to get there, you take a historic steamship, the TSS Earnslaw, to get to the farm. So that's the first part of the experience. And this steamship is over 100 years old. You can actually do a bit of a tour walking around the steamship, see them putting the coal into the furnace and all this sort of thing. They also do like food, afternoon tea on there as well, which I think there's an additional cost for the afternoon tea portion of the tour. But, there's a lot to do.
Got to eat.
Yeah, there's plenty of eating and drinking options on the boat as well. So that's the first sort of experience of going to Walter Peak. So you take this steamship to the other side of the lake. And then when you get there, you have 2 options. You can either do an optional farm tour, or you can do a leisurely walk around the gardens. They have some quite nice gardens on the property as well, so you can do your own thing there. But the farm tour is definitely recommended, and that's really cool. You get to go to various paddocks where they have some cattle. They have some Scottish Highland cattle, the big ones with the furry faces, like the really massive horns, long sort of fur on them. So they're quite cool to see. And they have sheep as well, and you get to basically hand feed the animals, which is great. Also, if you're traveling with kids as well, they really love that sort of thing. So yeah, you get to do this little bit of a tour around the farm, and then sometimes they have some optional extras on their tours. For instance, they sometimes do dinners there, they sometimes do sheep shearing shows there, but the sort of standard tour at Walter Peak Farm is just doing this sort of tour of the farm where you get to basically feed the animals, and then after that you get to enjoy the steamship journey all the way back to Queenstown all over again. So yeah, that's pretty much the full experience in a nutshell for Walter Peak.
Wow. Okay. So the next one that we have on our list is the Geraldine Farm Tour. So it's much less well known. Geraldine is basically on the way between Queenstown and making your way all the way to Mount Cook and Christchurch. So it's just in that area there. So that could be something that you want to do when you kind of leave Queenstown. Geraldine is a really cool farm as well. So there is this typical farm sceneries of New Zealand. There's backdrop of mountains, there's a bit of forest around everything. So there is really kind of, it does look really scenic and really nice. But they also do deer farming, and deer farming is kind of a big industry in New Zealand. And deers are so majestic. I love kind of looking at deers and everything. So there are some deer farms. Actually, I don't think that the deer farm, they actually own it. I think they go to a farm which is owned by someone else. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but maybe they own it, but I don't think they do. Anyway, they take you to a deer farm as well. You get to see up close deer. They are fantastically looking animals. I feel like it's really kind of unique things to check out, and I think like the one I'm going to be talking about, they're all a little bit unique, and just to give you a little bit of a different feel. Anyway, I won't elaborate as much as what Laura did, but Geraldine Farm Tours, go check out some deer. There is also some sheep. There is some mountain. There's all the goodies. You also get some feed as well. It's pretty awesome. Moving on to the next one, it's Agrodome.
Okay, Agrodome is one of the more popular farm tours to do in New Zealand. It's in Rotorua on the North Island, and there's two different things you can do there, or you can do them both. They have the farm show, and then they have the tour. So the show is kind of like, you're all sitting in the audience. They have a stage set up, and they get to they do sheep shearing demonstrations. They show some of the sheepdogs, they give them commands, and you can see the dogs doing the commands, even sometimes doing it on ducklings. They can sort of round up the ducklings on stage, which is pretty cool.
It's really awesome. The kids love seeing that. Love to see the dogs at work. The kids love it.
Yeah, and the show's really interactive as well. So sometimes they call people up on stage so they can feed the animals. They can
shear the people.
Can try and shear, or not shear the people. Well, that would be funny. But yeah, they even show you, do a demonstration, maybe get you to try and shear the sheep as well. So it's a really cool show. And yeah, there's a lot happening in there as well. And it sort of gives you a good overview of farming in New Zealand. And then the second option you can do at Agrodome is the farm tour. So you get into a tractor, and you are basically going around a farm and seeing various different aspects of the farm. They have, of course, animal feeding. You get to feed. There's sheep, there's cattle, there's pigs. So there's various different animals that you can go feed. And another really cool section to the tour as well is that you get to go and see some fruit orchards. So things like kiwi fruit are grown quite a lot in New Zealand. So they go to a kiwi fruit orchard, and you get to try some kiwi fruit juice made in New Zealand, for instance. So you get to really see quite a lot of different types of farming in New Zealand at the Agrodome. So yeah, that's a really cool tour to do in Rotorua. The next one?
The next one is Shamara Alpaca. So we do have a video of Shamara Alpaca there, so you guys can watch us do the whole tour. So I'm just going to go quite quickly because there is a 10-minute video of us doing it. But basically, they have alpacas. It's located near Hakka, which is in the Banks Peninsula, which is close to Christchurch. It's on the South Island, and they have alpacas. Alpacas are really fun-looking animals. They're cute. They're super soft. It's kind of, it's fun. You get to feed the animals. You get to check out how they shear them, why they're farming alpacas. You get to really interact with them. They're really not shy type of animals. So if you do have food, they will all rush towards you. Amazing picture opportunity. One of the fantastic things with alpaca is that they kind of high and tall animals, so it's kind of easy to take pictures with them because they're literally the same size than you.
They're very good for taking selfies.
Exactly. So I find this is a very easy animal. You have to bend down, take a picture with a chicken or a sheep. But an alpaca is just, it has evolved to be perfect for selfie, and so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's fantastic, and they have some amazing product actually in their gift shop. I think Laura is wearing a hat from them actually right now. So yeah, fantastic looking Laura with fantastic looking beanie. But no, really soft for wool. It's really fun, and same thing. It's a different kind of a feel and different kind of farm. So that's why I picked this one. And Laura's last pick was Sheep World. Where is Sheep World?
Yes, Sheep World is in a place called Warkworth, which is about an hour north of Auckland Central. And Sheep World, as the name suggests, it's all about sheep in New Zealand. So they do sort of sheep shearing demonstrations there. They allow you to feed the sheep. They sort of tell you about the various different wool in New Zealand as well. So that's a really comprehensive tour about sheep farming in New Zealand, which is really awesome. And it's also a really good place for families to go to. And for instance, they have a cafe there, so you can just relax in a cafe. They have children's play areas and all that sort of stuff. But they also have a native bushwalk as well, so you can learn a little bit about the nature side of New Zealand and how farming and nature works together. So that's a really cool aspect of Sheep World as well.
So there is obviously much more farm tours in New Zealand, and you can find more information on all those farm tours on www.NZPocketGuide.com. We have plenty of articles covering that, and even more. It's all free to use, so just plan your trip on NZPocketGuide.com. It works. Yeah. And if you did find this video useful, if you think that all the information we're sharing with you guys right now is useful, just hit the like button. It's a great way to say thank you for all our hard work. Plus, it's free to do, so it's pretty awesome. And finally, like and subscribe, all this kind of stuff if you want more from us. Thank you for watching, and let's go back to the live chat. Okay, where are we? Jazz was saying that there is some issues with the streaming. Can you guys still see us? Can you guys still hear us? Just tell us so we don't speak in the emptiness of doom of the internet.
Yeah.
In the meantime, where are we on?
Extreme Toyota.
Extreme Toyota say, hey guys, I posted some videos of Niue and New Zealand as well. Oh, that's awesome. Can you send us some links of the video of Niue? You can find us on Facebook at NZPocketGuide.com. We love Niue. Did you check out NZPocketGuide.com? We actually have a travel guide for Niue as well. We do really like Niue. If you guys don't know, if you guys have never heard of Niue, it's a very small island nation of about 1,200 inhabitants. They are a free state, so they are actually a different country than New Zealand, but they are in a free association with New Zealand. So it's kind of interesting status that they are on, which basically means that they are independent but dependent. And I think their representation in United Nations and everything is done by New Zealand. Anyway, very small island nation. It's fantastic looking. It's called the Rock of the Pacific. There is corals everywhere. Amazing for snorkeling.
Yeah.
You guys should check it out. And if you want more information, it's Niue, 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 PocketGuide.com, a bit like the name of the channel, but instead of NZ, you put Niue, and you'll love it. Cool. What else do we have? Ellen even say, we have a trip planned to New Zealand for February the 23rd to March the 20th, 2021 from the USA. Do you believe the border will be open to USA by February? What did we say in our prediction? I can't remember now.
I think we did say that at the earliest, it may be the end of February,
I think we say,
but at the same time, it's there's been no official information about the borders opening. So, there's still a lot of uncertainty about the borders. So we can't exactly say to you right now, the borders will definitely be open. Although we might predict that borders may start opening around February. It also really depends on what the situation for COVID-19 is in the US and whether the borders will open to the US. So that is really up in the air right now.
So Ellen, in short, we have a video where we actually put our prediction on there, and we give you a lot of context on why we put our prediction. And I think Laura is correct. We say that it probably will open by the end of February. That's our earliest estimate. And it mostly depends on how the USA is faring with it. Because if the USA get the cases under control, then New Zealand will be happy to reopen to its border to the USA. But if the USA don't still have rampant cases around, New Zealand is simply just not going to open.
Yeah.
Now, that's the current kind of train of thought in the country, right? Now we're having election in September, which means we may get a different party, and this different party in New Zealand may just be okay, we need to restart the economy. It doesn't matter. Tourism is really important. We can cope with a few cases, and then maybe open the borders. So everybody will have it's going to be a big part of the debate, right? So that may completely change. But as for right now, if the current prime minister stays, the earliest will be late February. I will say, if you haven't booked anything for your trip, I wouldn't pay or book anything just yet. I would wait later, because no matter what, even if the borders literally reopen tomorrow, it's still going to be a very small amount of tourists trickling in for quite a while. It's not going to be a ton of tourists like summer kind of times. So you're still going to be able to basically book everything quite easily, like 2 weeks in advance. So I wouldn't book anything until the 1st of February, personally, right? If it was me. And then on the 1st of February, I'll start booking stuff just because of all the uncertain circumstances right now.
And also bearing in mind that, for instance, at the moment, there's a limited amount of people that can come into New Zealand, mainly New Zealand citizens. But when they arrive in the country, they have to go into a special quarantine facility for 2 weeks. So we don't know if that's going to be still something that's applied a few months down the line, where the borders are open, but it is mandatory to go into a quarantine facility. As you can imagine, that's probably not how you want to spend 2 weeks, your first 2 weeks in New Zealand.
You're here for 1 month. So if you spend 2 weeks in quarantine facility, you're not going to have fun then. So quarantine facility is literally just a hotel room where you don't have the right to leave the room.
Exactly. So obviously there's this aspect as well, that even if the borders do open, you don't know if the quarantine sort of facilities are still going to be the thing that's going on either. So like Robin says, I'd say, like, don't book anything until you know, first of all, that the borders are open, and second of all, you know sort of what the situation is when you arrive in New Zealand. You want to know that basically when you come to New Zealand, you probably want to be able to travel straight away. So also keep an eye out for information to do with that as well.
And we'll keep you posted as soon as you get some information here. And also, I do know that in most cases, we always advise, if you travel in February or March, you absolutely have to book early, because it's the peak season of tourism in New Zealand. And again, we're a really small country. We only have 5 million people here. So when we get an influx of 4 million tourists, well, everything is fully booked, right? But it's not going to be the case this summer. There is no way, even if if the borders are open for the entire world, New Zealand is not going to be flushed with tourists. It's not happening. So you have plenty of time to book. So you can afford to book at the last minute. So I would really strongly suggest not to spend your money just yet, and just book in early February, like the 1st of February. If the borders open, then you can start doing your bookings. And that's just obviously our opinion. Feel free to book everything right now if you feel like it. Feel free to cancel your trip altogether if you feel like it. We obviously don't want to we don't want to kind of force you to do anything, but if that was us, we'll even, like, I mean, honestly, if that was us, we will even cancel all our bookings now and then just rebook them later if needed, because it's just easier to go through all the cancelling process early on. So that's basically what we would do. Okay. Kshitij says, morning guys, any updates regarding borders opening for Indians? No, we had no update this week. I mean, I was kind of monitoring a little bit the news, the channels, the government release and everything. No kind of talk about border opening just yet. I think, like, as we talk about it a little bit already, guys, there is going to be election in New Zealand in September. That's really close. This video right now is recorded on the 26th of July. So we literally are between 6 and 7 weeks away from a national election where we're changing our leader. So most of the conversation now is just all about the politics and, oh, look, this person doesn't know the price of this, or, oh, this person is, this person is a dodgy politician, or, oh, this is an empty promise. It's just, politics stuff. So that's what most of the conversation is all about. And we kind of forgot all about we didn't forget all about the COVID-19, but it's kind of like, it's not really the topic of conversation.
It's more like I guess in politics right now, the main focus is getting re-elected.
It's on themselves.
It's not really on the focus of opening the borders right now. So any decisions that are going to be made are going to be either slow or non-existent, really. So nothing is going to be done.
Like, just so you guys know, we don't think that anything is going to be done, announced or anything until, after the election. So, we think late September, we're going to start getting some better updates and everything. Obviously, we're going to try to monitor. We will also adjust our prediction. We are planning on doing an adjustment of our prediction soon-ish when we get a bit more information, but this week we've got nothing to work on, so it's hard if you get nothing to work with. But yeah, so right now I don't think in the next 7 weeks there is going to be any kind of news. So I know you guys are popping in every week and you're going to ask us every week, and we're really happy with you guys asking us every week. We're just setting up expectations right here. I don't think we're going to get any updates, or nothing is going to change for the next 7 weeks at least. And because that's 7 weeks, that's all the way up to the election. By then, if they decide to make news on policies and everything like that, it would take 1 to 2 months to get started. We've been talking about opening the border with Australia for months now, and it still hasn't been done. So, it delays things quite a lot. So just our take on that. Not 100% sure just yet, but we'll see. Cool. Where are we at? Oh, Mohammed says, good to see you again, couple. Good to see you again, Mohammed.
Yes.
How are you doing today? You say, is it getting a bit warmer?
Not really yet.
No, it's still really cool. Like everything is frosted everywhere. There's frost everywhere. There's snow on the mountains. It looks pretty. It looks good. We do like to see that.
It's a nice and sunny, clear day, so it's a beautiful day. But it is pretty chilly, especially
It's crisp.
in the central North Island right now where we are. It is very chilly, and definitely on the South Island it will probably be a couple of degrees colder there. So yeah, it's a bit chilly, and right now is right in the middle of winter in New Zealand, so it's probably going to be the coldest I guess it's going to be for this winter, and hopefully in a couple of weeks it'll start warming up soon.
Jazz Narula says, hi guys. Hey Jazz, how are you doing? Is the live session fixed for you? Can you see us and hear us well now? I know you were reporting a bit of an issue. Nobody told us that it wasn't working, so I think it was working. And Ellen was talking to us. So I think it's okay.
Probably fixed now.
Yeah. Joshua Texera says, are there any cool museum with dinosaur fossils? I would like to see them. Yes, Fossil World. Fossil World.
This is in a little village, like the tiniest village ever, called Duntroon, which is it's near the town of Oamaru in the South Island. Is it called the Waitaki Valley?
Waitaki Valley, yeah.
Yeah, so when you drive from Oamaru inland into the South Island, this area is called the Waitaki Valley, and it's got loads of amazing rock formations, fossils, and in a small town in the Waitaki Valley, Duntroon has the Fossil World Museum. So they have tons of different fossils. I'm not really sure if they have dinosaur fossils, but they have prehistoric penguins, prehistoric dolphins,
prehistoric penguins with teeth. Actually,
yeah, some pretty
amazing.
Yeah, like they have like fossils and skeletons. They have fossils of like ancient whales and all this sort of thing, which were found in the middle of the South Island. So it just goes to show that how, basically the whole of New Zealand used to be underwater. All these crazy animals have fossilized under the water.
Before people arrived, before Maoris arrived in New Zealand, and then the settlers arrived in New Zealand, there was something before in New Zealand.
Yes.
There was giant penguins with teeth.
Yeah.
So we don't know who had to wrestle them to take over New Zealand, but they must have been pretty epic dudes.
So I would say to Joshua, actually, check on YouTube. We do have a video of us visiting this museum and the Waitaki Valley. So maybe, do you want to type in Waitaki just to show how it's spelt? Waitaki. So no. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
Wow. No trust whatsoever.
So, yeah, the Waitaki Valley, if you search our video there on YouTube, you'll see us visiting some really cool rock formations and going to that fossil museum. And you'll get to see what we're talking about when we talk about those prehistoric penguins and dolphins with huge teeth.
And finally, Joshua also says, I would like to see there. Also, there is an unrecorded seabird colony in my local area. Should I tell the Department of Conservation or should I not? You absolutely should. It's the Department of Conservation's job to obviously monitor all the wildlife activities around New Zealand, and obviously if it's an area of breeding, they will want to kind of fence it around a little bit so people don't go and kind of walk where the birds are and everything and go take selfies way too close. So absolutely, yes, you definitely should tell the Department of Conservation. If you can do it, you can send them an email on the Department of Conservation website. So it's doc.govt.nz. They do a fantastic job. So definitely, the more information is given to the dog, the better. We actually do supply them with a lot of images in order for them to illustrate their website and everything. So yeah, it's great. They do great.
Yeah.
Himav says, did you guys get any information on the NZ border on when the New Zealand borders will open? We just addressed that, but this week there was really no information whatsoever on that just yet. So as soon as we do we will update our prediction. But so far, we do stick to our current prediction and hope that we're wrong and that the border open faster.
Yeah.
Extreme Talota says he will send us the link of his video after the live streaming. Awesome.
Cool, thank
you. Did you check NZPocketGuide.com or did you never heard of it before? It would be awesome to know if you check that website or not. And also give us your feedback on that website too. We worked really hard on it for such a small nation. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Monad Marshad, say hi. Hey, how are you doing, Monad? Ellen says, thank you so much. It's not looking good. So that was about traveling from the USA to New Zealand in February. Yeah, we do agree, sadly.
Yeah.
We are all booked except the flight. Oh, damn. Honestly, Ellen, I will actually cancel my booking right now and then rebook it if needed later on. That will be my approach, but it's up to you. Sherry says, good morning. How are you doing, Sherry? You all right? Thanks for joining us another week. I think that's 3 weeks in a row you're joining us. I love it. Joshua said, thank you. Toby Jenkins, it says, is Queenstown good? And they says hi and say, what should I do at Queenstown? So it depends how long you are. But Laura, is Queenstown? Laura lived in Queenstown for a while. Do you like Queenstown?
Yeah, Queenstown's pretty good. It's a small town, but it's a very busy town. And it's probably it's basically the tourism center of New Zealand. Any activity you can think of doing in New Zealand, they probably do it in Queenstown in terms of adventure activities like bungee jumping, jet boating, skydiving, but then they do all sorts of other types of tours as well, like winery tours. They do sort of farm tours as well. We were just talking earlier in this stream about the Walter Peak farm tour that there is to do there. They do quad biking, like 4-wheel drive tours, historic tours, Lord of the Rings tours, all sorts of things to do in Queenstown. So you're bound to find something that interests you in that town, even like hikes and stuff like that. There's free things to do there as well, because the other side of Queenstown is that there is so much to do there, but it can be a little expensive. So if you're on a budget, sometimes Queenstown can be a little bit too tempting to do all the different paid activities. So yeah, there's that side of it as well. And then in terms of the town itself, there's loads of different restaurants, bars. There has a huge sort of, it's really famous for its nightlife as well. It's a bit of a party town. They do sort of booze cruises on the lake as well. So there's lots of stuff going on in Queenstown. So if you like places where there's a lot happening, a lot to do, then yeah, Queenstown is good.
And in Queenstown, there is a place called Eric's Fish and Chips that has deep fried kiwi fruit as dessert. And that's fantastic. So if for any other reason, this is one reason to go to Queenstown.
Yes.
I mean, whatever she says, it doesn't matter. I say deep fried kiwi fruit, man. I mean, like, come on. But yeah, aside from that, Queenstown is a little bit expensive, so you've got to know about, you've got to prepare your budget as well, and make sure that you have enough money. If I was to travel around New Zealand for a couple of weeks, I probably will give myself about 2 days in Queenstown. I will base myself in Queenstown for 1 day and do a Milford trip and then come back. Milford Sound is fantastic, and I think it's just easier to do from Queenstown than doing all the drive yourself and get back down there. The trip down there, you take the bus and then you come back. And then I'll pick a couple of epic activities to do in Queenstown, and I'll do them on my second day. That's basically how I will do it if I have a couple of weeks traveling in Queenstown. If you're here on a working holiday visa and you want to work and live in Queenstown, just be aware that Queenstown is extremely expensive, so you won't be able to save hardly any money at all. So you better kind of base yourself somewhere else to work and do your work and travel, and then you go to Queenstown as just a holiday, like as a holiday when you travel around.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of our take on like the two kind of different aspects, like being a tourist and being a working holiday maker. Now, if you do have some more information for us, or a little bit more context, Toby, just give it to us, and
we can tell you more about Queenstown, depending on what sort of things you want to know about, really.
Yeah, or if you want to talk to us about your brother Leroy. That's a geek joke.
I don't get it, but
Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins. Okay.
Woo! All right, I'm just gonna hide myself now.
Yes.
Vijandipan Pradipan, I am sorry if I just destroyed your name. He says, I have a question. How long does it take to get a New Zealand PR, which is permanent residency? It widely depends on which path to permanent residency you're taking, how you fill up your paperwork, if you have all the information or not. But permanent residency can take from 6 months to 4 or 5 years to take. So it's completely widely different depending on what you decide to do. So that is a very there is no real answer for that, but between 6 months to 5 years. I know that right now Immigration New Zealand is swamped with a ton of work, so expect delays and times to be taking about twice longer. I mean, we did have some dealing with Immigration New Zealand quite recently, and it took about twice longer. Like something that was supposed to take about 30 working days took about 60. So just to give you a rough idea, and I was literally just printing something, and it took 60 working days, which is about 2.5 months. Yeah. So be aware of that.
They have on the immigration website right now, they have updated timeframes for how long it takes for them to process permanent residency applications. But first of all, they're only prioritizing applications from within New Zealand. And even for those ones, some of those applications are taking up to a year, 12 months to process. So right now,
that's just the application, right? That's not even like the path to the permanent residence, because once you get it, then you have to fulfill some conditions before you get it fully and everything. So it's, it takes multiple years. I think mine took 2.5 years. Laura took about 3 years, or something like that. So it takes a while.
Yeah.
Extreme Talota says, I haven't heard of the website yet, so I'll give you the website in the live chat, man. I'll give you the link, so if you want to check it out. Sherry says, it's good now. It's cold and rainy in Sydney. No, it's not as cold as New Zealand. You're still in Australia. Come on. Obviously it is winter in our side of the world. So if you guys don't know, if you guys live in the Northern Hemisphere, when it's summer for you guys, it's going to be winter for us in the Southern Hemisphere. So for us right now, it's kind of our coldest kind of time of the year. While for you guys, it's your hottest. So it's kind of different. And if you want to chase summer or chase winter, you can keep on traveling around the world. And if you do that motion around the world, you may be able to avoid ever seeing summer or ever seeing winter.
Yeah.
Sherry says, have you guys done many scenic flights or helicopter rides? Yeah, we've done quite a lot, actually. We've done a lot of scenic. Actually, you could type like flights and then NZPocketGuide.com, and you'll see us doing like a lot of different activities. But yeah, we've done quite a lot of them. And maybe we can talk about our most memorable one. I think if I have to think about one flight, I think that was the flight when we actually flying toward the glacier to do a glacier hike. And I think the one that we've done to arrive on Fox Glacier was actually phenomenal. It looks amazing. So when you do a glacier hike, you actually get on the helicopter, and then the helicopter lands on the glacier, and then you do your hike on the glacier, and then you fly out. And I think that a lot of people, they talk about the glacier hike, but I think that the flight to arrive toward the glacier is really underrated. I love that, because you can see the sheer size of the glacier, the sheer size of the mountain cliff, the sheer size of the valley below, and you get to see so much just in that one short flight. It's a short flight, it's like about 10 minutes. Man, if you take it in, it's amazing. Also, going in a helicopter, I don't do that every day. I'm not a GI marine nonsense. It's just epic. It's really cool. I love helicopters. So I think I would say it's probably one of my favorite kind of scenic flight. Also, I would say as far as scenic flight goes, it's probably the best value, because you technically get 2 scenic flights and you get the glacier hike all in kind of the one price. It's $500. It's still quite expensive, but you get that much within it. While a normal scenic flight still costs you between $200 and $300, and it's just one flight. So I like it a lot. So if I have to pick one of my favorite scenic flight, I would say the helicopter flight from the base of Fox Glacier all the way landing on Fox Glacier. That's what I pick. What would you pick as your favorite one?
I think I'll go for an actual scenic flight. So
what are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously different ways that you can there's skydives as well, where you get to take a flight up. You get to have basically a scenic flight on your way up to whatever height you go to. Say like some of the heights go up to 20,000 feet in New Zealand now, so you get a nice scenic flight again in the Franz Josef and Fox Glacier area, where the views are incredible, and then you get to jump out of a plane and sort of enjoy the views that way as well. But I'll talk anyway. I'm digressing with that. I'll talk about the scenic.
Skydiving comes with free scenic flight as well. That's what she's saying.
That's
moving
basic,
on.
Yeah, moving on. I think I would talk more about the Mount Cook area. There's a ton of different scenic flights.
Oh yeah, that's really cheap. That's a cheap one. That's good.
Yeah. So there is a company called In-Flight where they do a tour called the Mount Cook 360. It's one of the more affordable scenic flights that we've seen in the Mount Cook area. And this basically gives you sort of basically a 360 flight. You get to fly over the Tasman Glacier, which is the longest glacier in New Zealand. You get to fly around Mount Cook, which is the highest mountain in New Zealand as well. And you even get to cross the mountains and see Franz Josef and Fox Glacier from above. So you get to actually see areas of New Zealand that, although they are super far apart if you're traveling by road, when you do this scenic flight, you actually get to see the famous Franz Josef and Fox glaciers, as well as the Mount Cook National Park. So that's a really good way to sort of see a lot of those areas all in one scenic flight. There's also a scenic flight of the same area from Lake Tekapo, called Air Safaris, I think it's called.
Yes.
And yeah, their planes are actually really cool because they have sort of like the windows sort of stick out a little bit, so it gives you room for your camera to so you get like a kind of a really good
That's
view.
a lifestyle that we appreciate.
Yeah.
That's a quality of life improvement that we really
Yes.
like.
So there's that option as well from Lake Tekapo. So yeah, that whole area just around there is really incredible for scenic flights, and we do have videos both on the Mount Cook 360 scenic flight, and we have a video on the Air Safaris scenic flight from Lake Tekapo. So make sure to check those out on YouTube, just so you can sort of compare those.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah. Anyway, we also have a really actually awesome scenic flight video in Stewart Island. If you check it out, it's a scenic flight where literally the plane had to land on the beach, which is really awesome. And it was part of like doing a hike. So you kind of fly to one side of the island, you land on the beach, and then you dropped off there. You sleep in the hut, and then you walk your way back, and then you take a boat back. It's kind of like a flight, sleep, hike, boats. It's kind of real trek adventure. It's really fun as well. But anyway, yeah, scenic flight, a ton of them in New Zealand. I hope that those ones that we gave you were quite fun. You don't have to jump from a plane. Laura was just talking about skydiving, okay? And you don't have to go and lose yourself on a massive glacier either. I was just giving you an opinion. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is plenty of awesome scenic flights around New Zealand. Mohammed says, can you type the food place you love in Queenstown? I did that for you. So it's called Eric's Fish and Chips. So I wrote what you need to order, and I wrote the name of the place in Queenstown. So it's in the comments, so in the live chat right now for you, man. Bruno Rabello says, watching from Brazil, and says, great live, guys.
Thank you.
I don't know how you say hi. Is it obrigado? Obrigado. No, that means sorry. I was trying to say hi in Portuguese. I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know.
Obrigado, por favor. I don't know what it means. Okay. Anyway. Hey, how are you doing? Thank you very much for joining us from Brazil. We're happy to have you on board. Are you planning your trip to New Zealand soon, Bruno? What brings you to our channel? Tell us everything. Mohammed is asking the average flight price from Auckland to Queenstown, Nora. So we're going to give you some average price, but that's when there is no crazy pandemic going on, right? Right now, the prices are as high as it gets because, every company is in debt, that they can't fill up their planes, all that. So everything is really high right now. So it should stabilize in the next 4 to 5 years. But before all the craziness happened, what were the average prices around?
I'm
okay, I can do it. I can
sure.
say that.
I think you probably know more than me.
They're between $49 to $99 usually to fly from Auckland to Queenstown. You really often have some special for $49 flight. So if you plan a little bit ahead, you can get that kind of prices.
Yeah.
Usually you pay between $99 to $129 for flying from Auckland to Queenstown. Then you have to pay a little bit extra to have your luggage with you. Because that's kind of like just the seat alone. You know how they do it. Just the seat alone. Then you want to select the seats, $10, and then you want to do this. They add extra little fee. But that's usually kind of the kind of prices that you can expect to pay. At the moment, you're close to the $200 mark, and I think it's going to remain like that for quite a while as the and New Zealand had to take on more debt because fun times, coronavirus nonsense, and so they have to repay that, and the people that have to repay that is us. So here you go.
Yay.
But that's cynicism aside, that's basically what it is. And prices for traveling and for air everything are going to get more expensive post-crisis, just because they will have to recoup all the loss that they kind of made. It's kind of a well-known fact. So yeah, that's around kind of like the price that you will have, and that's kind of your options. Tell us if you have any more questions about it. Jazz says, yes, it's all okay right now.
Cool.
Cheers.
Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah. Sherry says, oh, thanks. I'm planning on doing the Franz Joseph heli hike, and I'm also thinking about either doing a helicopter scenic flight to Milford Sound or plan on doing the Taupo and Queenstown skydive too. No, Taupo and Queenstown, 2 skydives. That's awesome.
Yeah, you'll get to see a lot of cool scenery. If you did all that, you'd get to see lots of different types of scenery around New Zealand as well.
And they say it's a scenic flight we forgot. Milford Sound is an absolutely stunning scenic flight. If I can give you a tip maybe for the Milford Sound scenic flight, I will still try to do it all, right? So one of the ways to do that is that you can take the scenic flight to Milford Sound, land there, then do the cruise, and then drive up by bus. And that you get to experience that kind of on the ground everything. Because on the ground, doing the stuff by bus is really cool. So if I were you, Milford Sound, here's how I will do it. I will actually stay in Queenstown I will take a bus that will drive me all the way down there. It stops a lot of places along the way, and you're going to see some chasm, you're going to see some stuff. So you get to experience kind of like the place like it is. Then you do the cruise down in Milford Sound. That's only $49. It's really cheap. And you do the cruise and you see all those things. And then you can actually do the scenic flight and fly away from Milford Sound and fly back to Queenstown. That'd be awesome, because like that you don't have the dreadful like extra 10-hour drives back. Sleeping in there, you get to see all the scenery, and that's really awesome. So that's all I will organize.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to kind of treat yourself. But yeah, obviously it's just my take on it. You can organize it however you want. I just feel like if I had a choice, this is how I will do it. Vijadipan Pradipan says again, can you type answer how to get New Zealand citizenship if you're Canadian citizen? I'm sorry, I can't type this answer. You can find that on immigration.govt.nz. That's their website for Immigration New Zealand. You are able to find all this information right here. There's so many different ways. There's so many different paths. And on top of that, we are not a qualified immigration advisor. We can't do that. And also, it's a live video. So if I were to type for like a few hours right here and to give you all this information, you wouldn't be able to find that. Another way to find some great information about like how is life in New Zealand before you decide, you can actually go to NZPocketGuide.com. The link is in the description right now of the video. You click on there and you can find a little bit of research and a bit more information. MB 1968 New Zealand. Hey mate, how are you doing? That's been a while. We didn't see you last week, I think, and the week before. So yeah, how are you been doing? Awesome. He says, stay in Canada, our borders will be closed for a long time. And it's very true. At the moment, I think starting the process of trying to come to New Zealand right now, it's not the right idea. The borders are closed. Immigration in New Zealand is busy on other things. You will have to wait a few years in order to get that started. And they kind of made a bit of an announcement saying that they were working on other priorities right now. So you've got to be aware of that at the moment. So you can do your research right now. So go to Immigration New Zealand website and do your research and see what is your path. You can do your research now, but applying right now, I personally wouldn't do it.
No.
I think, seeing, for example, for more experience, like the length it took to just get one paper printed.
And it's also quite expensive as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're applying for something, you want to be sure that you want to have the information, how long that the applications are going to be processed, and that there's going to be like a clear yes or no answer within a good time frame. But right now, if you were to apply for citizenship right now, first of all, it'd be really expensive. And second of all, you probably will be waiting a very long time to receive an answer. But they will still take your money very quickly. They will probably, as soon as they get
there's no refund as well if you don't get it. So.
Exactly. So as soon as they get the application, usually they charge you straight away, but then they put it in the queue to be processed for months later. So that's kind of the way that Immigration New Zealand works.
Yeah. Okay, Mohammed says, enjoying the chat, guys. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. You're very welcome. That every single Sunday. So if you want to pop in every Sunday, at this time, 1 hour every time. So we have another about 30 minutes with you guys. So if you do have some quick fire questions, go nuts with it. We're here for another 13 minutes. So don't leave without your question not answered. We're here for you. MB says, good morning, fam. That's
Good morning.
I guess. It's a good morning. Really cold though. I know you're somewhere in New Zealand. I know that. So you must be cold as well. Okay, Bruno Rabello says, I am planning a road trip to New Zealand and your channel is helping me a lot. By the way, you were right in Portuguese. Thank you is obrigado. How do you say hi? How do you say hi in Portuguese? So if you think that the channel is helping you a lot, check out NZPocketGuide.com. So that's our website, right? So you can find a link in the description below. It's all free. And if you click on prepare your trip and then trip IDs, Laura wrote full itineraries, like all her dream itineraries. She wrote all of them depending on your time length and where you want to visit and what you want to do. And it's like all written for you. It's phenomenal. I still, to this day, when we hit the road, I still use that every time as a base to make my road trip. So definitely worth checking out. So again, NZPocketGuide.com. The link is description below. Then you click on prepare your trip, then trip IDs, and then just pick what itinerary you fancy. And she's actually going to be doing a lot of extra itineraries soon. She's excited about doing all that.
More,
so you may want to check those one out.
MB saying that Laura's fanboy, lol.
Yes,
so,
of course.
Robin is my biggest fanboy.
Yeah, of course. I have pompons. I'm like, look, right, give me an L for Laura. Give me an A for Aura.
A for...
I don't know what cheerleaders do. But yeah, she is a great journalist. She actually has background in journalism. So that's why kind of the website is such in a, compelling way. There's so much information in there because she does love the extra information. And MB says it's freezing in Wellington as well. So you're in Wellington. Yeah, it is really cold. Okay, so Virandib says, can you enter New Zealand without a job offer? I won't. Also, I'm aware of the situation. I mean, once coronavirus is gone, as you have just said, I want to plan now for the future. Well, it depends on what visa you have, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know just yet.
Yeah, you definitely need
to. So you have to contact Immigration New Zealand. It looks like you have specific question. Again, it is illegal for us to give you immigration advice. We are not registered immigration advisor. So the question you're asking us right now is it is illegal for us to answer. So we can't answer that for you. The only thing we can do is to send you to the immigration website. We can't answer immigration-related questions which are that specific. Sorry. Sherry says, thank you for all the info. I've used both the website and your channel to get some ideas for my trip.
Cool.
Awesome. If you use the website, Sherry, one of the really awesome things that you can be doing to help us as well, and again, it's all free. We're never asking you guys any money. But one thing you can do is that at the bottom of every article, there is a question that says, what is article useful? And you can click yes, it was useful to let us know that you find the information you want. But if you click no, it needs improvement, there is a little box, and you can tell us, I wish for example, like you should have put both kilometers and miles in there, or when you talk about that place, I didn't know where to look because there was no link or something like that. So tell us those things, so you help us constantly update the website. We do that literally on a daily basis, so it's an awesome way to kind of like help us make the website better for everybody and everything. Obviously, sharing the website on Facebook and everything is always fantastic. And we love people doing that, but helping us make the website even better, we just love it.
Yes.
So yeah, that's just tidbits. We have that at the bottom because it helps. But yeah. Zamil says, we are planning to go on a trip to the South Island in January. Is there any way to see some snow anywhere in the South Island in January? Yeah, there's multiple ways you can see snow. Laura, do you want to help?
Yeah, so a good place to go to see snow is if you go to the Mount Cook area. We were just talking early in this live stream about Scenic Flights. And in the Mount Cook area, this is where you find some of the highest mountains in New Zealand, which do have snow all year round. So taking a scenic flight and seeing it from above is an awesome way to see the snow. But they also have ski plane tours as well. So they can actually take you, even though January is summer in New Zealand, the ski planes can take you to the top of a glacier in the Mount Cook area called the Tasman Glacier, and you can just hop off the ski plane and go into the snow basically straight away.
So yes, you can see snow in January.
Absolutely. So if, for instance, if you want to see that video of us doing that ski plane experience, if you just type in Mount Cook ski plane.
It wasn't January, it was December. But we did it in December, which is the same kind of season.
Yeah, it was in summer. So so definitely one of the best places to go is in the Mount Cook area, and you can even step in the snow in the middle of summer. So that's really
obviously
cool.
Any of the glacier walk that you can be doing. So all the heli hike, all the glaciers, they're all covered of like a little bit of snow and everything. So you'll see quite a decent amount of snow, and there is some permanent snow usually around on the side of the mountains.
On the mountains,
you will see snow if you do any of the glacier hike or this kind of scenic flight that Laura suggests. So, and we actually do have a video on can you see snow in New Zealand in summer? Someone actually asked us the question where we go in depth, like even more answers. So if you want to try to find this video on the channel, just type maybe snow and then NZPocketGuide.com, and you'll find a video where we go much more in depth in that. But that's a cool question, Zamil. I like that. I think it's a lot of people don't think you can see snow in New Zealand in summer, but definitely you will be able to see snow in New Zealand in summer, unless global warming keeps going absolutely crazy and then we don't have glaciers anymore. But hopefully that's not happening anytime soon. We are taking actions.
Yes.
Okay, where we are. Ekrim Talota says, check out my YouTube. Yes, please just send me the link on our Facebook page, NZPocketGuide.com. That'd be fantastic. I love checking out some videos of people in New Zealand making travel videos. And even if you're interested, you can even make a videos and we can post it on our channel so we can show it to everybody else, like showing like local take on stuff to do. We love that. Yeah. So talk to us on the Facebook page. That'd be lovely. Cool. Otherwise, you can send us an email. There is the email everywhere, like on YouTube or on the website and everything. There is ways to contact us, easy as. I don't really know how Facebook works too well because I don't use Facebook as a personal stuff. I almost never use Facebook, so I don't. Sometimes people say, I send you a message on your personal Facebook. I have no idea how to find them. So If you're my friend, they pop in, but usually when you send friend requests and everything, I don't know how that works. I can be bothered with Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg know too much about me already. Cool. Sherry says, no worries, I'll do that from now on. It doesn't have to be a full-time job. You can just, but if you do actually get us things to improve, and that means I have to give a task to Laura to do. Just put your name, like sign it. So like I say, it's not me, it's Sherry. I just send the other stuff. So you can put your name on in when you type stuff.
You're just trying to keep me busy. You're just like, everyone send feedback so I can keep Laura busy.
Yeah. Send feedback on the website, guys, so we can keep
times are hard. Laura has nothing to write about. No one's coming to New Zealand at the moment, so keep her busy with the
I think she has the poor Laura, she has a list of, I think she's doing about 480 articles coming up soon, so and plus we're doing a lot of updates on the website and everything right now, so yeah, we do definitely have a lot to write about, but it's always good to have feedback. I think like writing new things and improving old things is the pillar of what we do. That's the pillar of what we do with those videos as well. Like you guys come up, for example, Zamil, like it's a question we already answered before, and most of the questions that we answer, we already answered them before, but it allows us to update kind of that answer and give you like our new take on it. And as we travel more and we grow older and all those kind of things, maybe our taste changes as it goes. Like if you see our videos of us traveling like for New Zealand's biggest gap year, and you see us now, we definitely have different answers because we were doing things differently and everything. So it's always cool to kind of like always update you guys to like what we like and everything. And that's why we do like those travel videos. Like we redo them and we post them with new updates and everything. So that's what we constantly do for you guys. We always make sure that everything is up to date. And most of the time, the way we know that something, not most of the time, but 50-50, right? We get industry updates, so we know when things change. We travel ourselves, so we find where are the changes. But the other great way to know that is also when you guys tell us, hey, this can be improved, or this, maybe there was a mistake here or something. So helpful. So good. Anyway, this has nothing to do with you. I'm sorry. I just opened up. Vijan Deep says, what cities in New Zealand are famous for construction and design sector? Christchurch.
Yes.
MB just says Christchurch as well. So here you are, Vija. Christchurch for you. Bruno says, amazing content in the site. Oh, you're very welcome. It's Laura. Look at her face. She's the amazing content for you. And in Portuguese, hi is oi. Oh, okay. Oi. I love that. That is so easy. I like when the words are not too complex.
Maybe we're not pronouncing it right, but
okay, probably not. Let's be honest. Do I even pronounce English right? Let's be honest. I speak with my thick French accent. I don't
think there's any correct pronunciations now in this sort of melting pot world of cultures and languages coming together. Anyway.
And MB says, my favorite upload is when Robin broke his arm. Lol. Yeah, that is a funny video, isn't it? Laura dropped a few F-bomb during this video. I thought that was quite funny to just kind of just leave them and just let's see what happens. Yeah. But so we were doing a hike in Mount Madaya.
Yes, which is near Whangarei.
I'm going to type it.
You're not typing?
No, I'm not typing.
Yeah, so it's in Whangarei, which is a city above Auckland. It's in the Northland region. And we were doing, quite an amazing walk up Mount Madaya. And I think you need to see the video to sort of really...
Just watch the video. Let yourself take in the scenery and then just see what happens and how things turn. And then see the following videos and see what happens to us. But it's fun. Yeah. So if you just type Mount Madaya and then NZPocketGuide, just watch the video and see it. If you want to just have a good laugh and see a bit of a behind the scene of what happens when you try to film 365 activities in 365 days. And no matter what, you decide that you're not going to stop. And you let the camera rolling for the whole time just because it's fun, and so you guys get an insight on how the emergency services in New Zealand work and the health services work and all that. Just let the camera roll and see what happens and see Laura driving, because on all the videos, by the way, on all the videos, Laura make me drive all the time because she doesn't like to drive and she doesn't like to drive on the videos either. But that time, she had to drive, so you get to see Laura driving.
I mean, if there's no choice, I will drive.
So I literally have to break one of my limb for her to decide that maybe she'd be driving.
All you have to do is ask Robin. You don't have to go and do some dramatic breakage.
Anyway, MB says, do a Maori eye wave. Maori eye wave.
Is that a wink?
Yeah, I don't really know what it is. Like, I don't know. I don't know what an eye wave is. Vija says, can you show a demonstration of a Hakka? We do have actually us doing some of the Hakka on the channel. So you can type Tamaki. I can type it for you if you want. So yeah, I can give you the link right here. So you have us trying that, and you have multiple Hakka videos on this channel. And yeah, now me doing a Hakka, obviously I'm not of Maori blood, and I'm not part of the Iwi, which is Maori tribe. So I haven't learned a Hakka. So Hakka dance is actually different depending on which tribe you're from. And so no, I wouldn't be able to, because my French tribe, from when I came to New Zealand, our version of the Hakka was eating camembert. So, it's like, Hakka! That is it. So no, I wouldn't be able to do a demonstration. I don't think Laura and Northern England heritage has a strong Hakka vibe either.
No.
So yeah, you can see us trying and being taught some Hakka dance on the channel, but it will be first culturally not appropriate for us to do that. And second,
best to leave it to the experts. When it comes to the Hakka, it's best to leave it to the people that do it well.
Yeah, exactly. But you can check that on the channel. We have plenty of videos of that. So you'll be treated. If you type just Hakka, Vija Dipan, if you type Hakka, then NZ Pocket Guide, you'll find some awesome place. Actually, one of the really cool places. So one is known as the Hakka really often is the one that the All Blacks, so the New Zealand rugby team, is doing. But a lot of people think that's the Hakka. But there is many different Hakka. As I said, every Iwi or every Maori tribe has a different Hakka dance proper to their own tribe. But the birthplace of that Hakka dance, that specific one that the All Blacks are doing, is actually located in between the town of Taupo and the town of Turangi.
No, it's not.
Oh, somewhere around?
Located between Turangi and the Tongariro National Park.
Here you go. Sorry. So between Turangi and the Tongariro National Park. And we actually went to visit this place, and we actually had a local guide that was telling us a bit of the stories and everything. And that was quite interesting. So that's worth checking out as well. Sherry says, I'm amazed they let you skydive with a broken arm. That's a bit of a spoiler, but yes, I did skydive with a broken arm.
That was pretty cool.
But to be fair, I mean, didn't my cast look amazing? So if you have a cast that looks that gorgeous, you get to skydive. That's just it. It depends on how many sparkle is on your cast.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much look like a superhero with that, like those red and blue colors.
If you have a Captain America cast, you get to fly. That is, that's just basic.
Does Captain America fly?
I have no idea.
I think you're thinking of Superman. Anyway,
I have no idea.
We are getting off point.
Completely off point. DIMF says, I hope New Zealand borders will open by the end of the year. If you want to check our prediction, we actually have a full video when we actually do our prediction on when will the borders open for New Zealand. So you may want to check this one out and see what's our take on that, because we think it's really going to depend on the countries. Extreme Talota say, I send a link to you guys on the NZ Pocket Guide Facebook page. Thank you so much, mate. That's awesome. MB said, the Maori eye wave is raise your eyebrow. Oh, all right.
Yeah, I've seen people doing that, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
They do have a good eyebrow raise.
Exactly. Then I don't know what the dangerous comment is for, so I'm not sure. Lol, that's probably me trying the Hakka. You probably saw those videos of at Tamaki Village when they taught me that. I do not look fierce. That's the only thing I'm going to be saying. If you want to watch the video, MB, so you just type Tamaki and then NZ Pocket Guide, and you see us doing the tour. Me doing the Hakka, not fierce whatsoever. Like my Maori friends are all about twice the width of me, and I'm like a stick, like I'm a pale stick in the middle.
Yeah.
If I was doing a warrior dance, the only thing that I will achieve by doing a Hakka will be that all the opposite tribe will pick me to attack first, because I'll
take
be
the skinny one.
Exactly. I'll be like, get rid of this guy first, and then we get on to real business with the other guys.
Yeah.
So I don't think me doing Hakka will achieve anything in the sense of back in the days when it was confrontational. But at the time, now me doing Hakka makes for some very funny videos.
Yeah.
Peptis Nobilis says, hi, how hard would it be after COVID-19 to migrate to New Zealand? We had planned to move, but COVID decided otherwise. Now we are afraid it will never happen. So one of the issue, right, just to get down to actually obviously I can't give you specific advice, but I can give you some broader understanding, right? one of the issues is that COVID-19 has hurt the New Zealand economy pretty badly. And so it has hurt the economy in many places in the world, right? So now there's a massive reprioritization of all the kind of jobs to be given to local. There's a lot of locals that have lost their jobs because they were working in tourism, for instance, and tourism was the number one economy provider of the country. And so all of the jobs that were usually given to immigrants and everything and available for immigrants, now they're taken by locals. And New Zealand immigration want to make sure that this still happen. So I think that immigrating in New Zealand is going to be much harder in the post-COVID-19 world for at least 5 to 10 years. So I think this has changed things for a lot of people. And we have had a lot of friends which are kind of encountered issue and they completely changed their life plan. Like meaning literally decided to buy a house overseas because they're like, we're not going to be able to come to New Zealand. So that's our take on that. I think that's going to change dramatically the way you can come work and live in New Zealand for extended period of time. For tourism, still going to be easy to come and travel in New Zealand afterwards. For working on a holiday visa, which is kind of work and travel for just a year in New Zealand, still going to be quite easy. You know, still need people to come and fruit picking and everything. For the rest, I think it's going to be significantly harder after that. But again, it's just our take on just two people sitting on the couch. You know, it doesn't mean you have to change your life plans completely. You still have to do your own research, contact Immigration New Zealand and see all that. It's just kind of our take on that. Then it says, MB says, I've seen all your uploads, lol. True, I think it's about who's going to pick on me. I think that's why you say true. And do you have a new app? No, we don't have a new app. We have NZPocketGuide.com. It's just a website and it works on mobile. So we decided not to go on an app. At the moment, we're having some issues with the mobile version of the site, but we're working on making it better. So hopefully in the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll make it better.
Yeah.
And Pepti says, whoa, thanks for the answer. Sorry about that. Listen, it's just our take on two people on the couch. So don't take it too much at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like always do your own research. And MB says it looks really good. Awesome. I like the fact that you like the website. So yeah, check out the website. If you see something that needs improvement, at the bottom of every article, you can click need improvement and give us some feedback. It's always awesome. We never take it back. So constructive criticism is always good. And Vijay, we're about to finish. But when I always watch video about New Zealand, normally YouTuber says you can rent a house or some suburb. Is it possible on a home? It's really expensive in New Zealand. So the ratio of like cost of living and buying houses is one of the highest in New Zealand. So buying houses in New Zealand is extremely, extremely expensive. So owning your own home in New Zealand is something that, you know, you have to take a mortgage. It takes you 30 years. It takes a long time. So it's not that easy. Extreme Talota is wrapping things up. He says, well, guys, have a good day. See you next week.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week at those times. New Zealand time. And Laura, what time are those?
Yeah, so that's 8 a.m. New Zealand time on a Sunday, but around the world, that's on a Saturday evening around in the UK. In France, that's around 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. on a Saturday. In the USA, that is on a Saturday afternoon around 4 p.m. EST and 1 p.m. PST. In India, that's bright and early on a Sunday morning around 1:30 a.m. And in Australia, that's also pretty early at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
That's it. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you think we are any useful to you guys. And check out NZPocketGuide.com. If we're not available on video live to answer your questions, the website surely is. And we put our heart and soul into it. There's a lot of info there. Thank you very much, guys. And Ngamihi says MB, that's thank you and bye-bye, basically, in Maori, which is the local language here in New Zealand. Thank you very much for watching, guys. You are awesome, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
See you next week, and
Stay
stay safe.
I like